Welcome to my channel. I'm Shauna, and today we're going to do some crafting and talk about some cold case diaries. I really want to talk about the case of Amy Lynn Bradley. She vanished from a cruise ship in 1998, and her story is in the spotlight again thanks to Netflix and TikTok. Before we dive into the case, I did want to share with you some of my things that I've been working on for my October Daily album. I started it a while ago and figured I might as well finish using up this paper pack and finish working on these pages. This paper pack is years and years old. It is from Michael's. It is called The Haunted Estate, and it is from Recollections brand. I really like the papers and the different colors, which is why I got it. You can see without the glare, sorry about that. Really cute pages. I thought it would be fun for an October Daily album. So these are some of the pages I had started, and I'm going to continue working on it. So I'll probably do that in a different video, but I was just really excited about it, so I wanted to share with you. This is one of the pages. They're all going to be mounted on black paper, and this is really cute. This is a sticker that I added, and with some twine, and I stamped boo on the inside. On the back of this one, I did make a little pocket so I can add some tags, which I have to work on too. Isn't that cute? Here's another page. Some of these I need to probably go back and work on the inside a little bit more, but there's another pocket for a tag, and this is the last one. How cute is that ghost? Let's see. Nothing on the inside, but there is a back pocket. Perfect for a tag. Uh-oh, I might have to work on that one a little bit. Won't go all the way down, but you get the idea. So that is the start. And I'm gonna be working on that along with some other things. So while we are chatting about the case, I'm gonna work on some birthday cards to have on hand for coworkers at work. And I did want to show you the paper pad that I'm using. I was inspired by all the ladies on TikTok doing craft your stash. So I wanted to try to use the papers I have on hand first before buying anything, because I have tons and tons of pads of paper. Some of them have never been used. I could probably open my own Hobby Lobby with all the paper pads that I have in here. But this is one from Hobby Lobby. Speaking of Hobby Lobby, this is Pink Armadillo pack with glitter. 3 sheets of 25 different designs. I'm sure that I got it when it was on sale, because I used to always stock up on paper when it was on sale. I think that I liked the variety of the designs and then the solid papers that coordinate with them, which is one of the reasons why I got this pack. I remember thinking the glitter and the designs was really flashy enough to where if I didn't want to stamp a bunch of designs and add a lot to the front besides the paper, that the glitter paper would compensate for that. So here we go. I pulled out this pink and the blue and the green, because I did have the orange, but I don't think it matches as well with the flowers. I think the green kind of pops and coordinates with this. So I want to try to use this combo for this card. Okay, so let's talk about the case. If you've seen the documentary on Netflix, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When I was flipping through Netflix and I saw it come up, I was like, oh my goodness, I remember the story when it happened, when it was on the news. And I remember following it for a while, and when new things would pop up, hearing about it, especially when those photos came out. So I was very interested to see the Netflix documentary. So if you don't know about the case, and if you are into true crime, I suggest that you go watch it. It is definitely pretty detailed, I think, especially if it's been a while since you've heard about the case. And for me, I know there were things that I hadn't heard before that were brought up. So she was on a cruise with her parents. Her parents' company had paid for the trip. I guess it was like a company thing. And her brother went along too. And they were all sharing one room. So her and her brother were dancing at the nightclub or the disco, whatever they called it. And before that, I think they had been to dinner. Amy's mom mentioned that the staff was very attentive to her. When she wasn't at the table, they were like, oh, where's Amy? And they said they wanted to take her to some club, Carlos and Charlie's, I think it's called, which happens to be the same club that Natalie Holloway disappeared from. And her parents were not too fond about the idea of them leaving the ship, and pretty much told them, even though they were like adults, that they didn't approve of them leaving the ship. So anyway, I guess they had went back to their room, changed clothes, and Amy and her brother Brad went to the nightclub, and there's a band that plays, and the bass player, known as Yellow, was seen dancing with Amy. There's a video that shows the two of them dancing together. Now, there was a film crew on the cruise that was paid to film things. I don't remember if it was for a different company. I don't think it was for the cruise line, but I know they wanted that film, and the guy who filmed it made copies of it. I think that maybe he thought it would be a good idea, and thankfully that he did, because we see Amy dancing with Yellow. So Brad goes to bed. He says Amy came in about 5 minutes later. I think that was proven because when they checked into the rooms, or when you use your key card, it documents what time that you use the card to get into the room. They were on the balcony talking, and he says he was ready to go to bed, and Amy said she wasn't feeling good, so she wanted to stay out in the fresh air. So remember that the dad, the mom, the brother, and Amy, they were all sharing the same room. The dad wakes up. He says it was around 5:30. He says he looked on the balcony and he could see Amy's feet. He dozed back off, woke up around 6 o'clock, and she was not there. He went looking for her, couldn't find her, starts panicking. And they were coming into port at Curacao. They were really begging the staff to not let the gateway down, the gangway, whatever you call it. They didn't want anybody to leave the ship, but they docked, let the gangway down. People got on and off. So her parents have been looking for her ever since. I don't know what to think. I really don't think that she jumped. They mentioned that she didn't like heights. They also mentioned that she was a lifeguard, so she was a good swimmer. They were also close to port, and the police chief on the Netflix document said that if she had jumped, then even if, sharks did get her, that they wouldn't have eaten her whole. So parts of her body would have washed up. So parts of her body weren't found. I think Yellow is behind the whole thing. Okay, so apparently something happened to my sound. So I'm just going to do a quick little voiceover while you watch me try to figure out what I'm going to do with my next card. Like I said, I do think that Yellow was involved. The two girls on the deck recognized Amy and, of course, Yellow. They said that he had flirted with them before. They were some of the younger cruise members on the ship, and they did know Amy by name because they said they had spoken to her. They saw them go up in the glass elevator, and then the next thing they know, Yellow comes up on the deck without Amy, and he didn't even acknowledge them, which was weird because, he was like Mr. Casanova. So I think the crew giving her extra attention, the girl seeing her in the glass elevator with Yellow, her brother saying that she didn't feel well. Maybe she was drugged earlier in the night when she was dancing with Yellow. Maybe that kind of hampered her fighting or trying to get away. I do believe she was smuggled off the ship by Yellow. They let the gangways down. They let people off the ship. The staff apparently has a separate exit that they can get off. So if there wasn't anybody monitoring that, maybe it would have been easy for him to take her off that way. I also think Yellow is suspicious because in the documentary, his daughter calls the Bradleys, and she talks about how the mom found a suitcase full of women's photos. And we were told earlier in the episode that Amy's picture was missing from the ship's photo gallery. So, did Yellow take it? It just seems kind of suspicious. Maybe he was using that to show the people what they were getting. I don't know. Also, with all of the sightings, the diver that saw her, he was pretty sure he saw her with the two men on the beach, and the Navy guy who was in the brothel where he wasn't supposed to be and didn't want to say anything because he was afraid of losing his retirement. I really wish that he would have thought of a way that he could have anonymously given information and sent someone to help her. And then we know about the lady in the bathroom that heard her mention wanting to go see the 2 children, and that she told her name was Amy and she was from Virginia. So I just wonder if maybe at some point she stopped trying to get help. Maybe she thought nobody was going to come and help her. I do hope that she is still alive. It kind of sounds odd to say that, because if she is being held against her will and made to do things that she doesn't want to do, it sounds horrible to say that she's still alive, but I do hope that someday she can get reunited with her family, whether in person or by phone. I really wish that there was a way for her to reach out to them and let her know, and let them know that she's still okay. But maybe that website that keeps having the pings from, was it Barbados, I think, on Christmas and Thanksgiving and her mother's birthday, maybe that is Amy. The holidays probably could be anyone, maybe just being curious, checking out the site. But how many people know her mother's birthday and would be on the site checking for updates and pictures? I really hope that the truth comes out someday. My heart hurts for her family. I can't imagine not knowing what happened to her. And I really do hope that someday soon they get closure.